Tomorrow morning, Newswave will be going live a little early. I think like 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I'm going to be shooting for here. Because wouldn't you know it, there is indeed a Nintendo Direct happening tomorrow. And it's been rumored for a little while. I think Jeff Grubb had mentioned Tuesday, June 9th. So it was sort of floating around anyway. But we got further confirmation from Nate that it would be this week. And now we have Nintendo fully announcing it. They initially pushed it out on Nintendo Today, but then eventually it found its way to other social media platforms with a couple of extra details that I can understand why. There's a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation because it's been a long time. I mean, last September since there was a full general direct, and this one is actually going to be one of the longer ones at 50 minutes. So we're going to go over some predictions, we'll say, and even some things I am expecting to be at this show. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and let me know your hopes and dreams for what you would like to see at this Nintendo Direct. We can see this is from Nintendo saying, join us June 9th, 7 a.m. Pacific, all right, so 10 a.m. Eastern Time for a Nintendo Direct, followed by Nintendo Treehouse Live. Not a partner showcase, not an indie world. No, this is a full general Nintendo Direct, and it will be roughly 50 minutes long. And there will be a Nintendo Treehouse Live that will be 95 minutes long that will immediately follow the presentation. Yes, that is kind of the thing they would normally do with E3, where they'd have several days of Treehouse events. Still, 95 minutes. They got some stuff to show there beyond just the presentation. Now, sometimes they'll do subtle announcements, maybe an amiibo reveal or other accessories or even features in the games, but primarily they'll be playing the different games that we see in this Nintendo Direct event. Okay, so it's set. It's here. There is a YouTube page that's already ready to go. I saw there were like almost 5,000 people there waiting right now. And if you look on their Twitter account, there's almost 10 million views on the announcement already. So, yeah, people are quite excited for the idea of this direct. All right, and I mean, there's a number of reasons why. You can look at the games that are currently being rumored, and there are a number of them. And I made a whole list. I'm not going to go over every single game that's out there right now that is rumored because there are a lot of games, a lot of hopes that people have. But I did at least want to outline some of the more obvious ones, and then a couple of shots here and there, maybe in the dark at some stuff that would be interesting, we'll say, that could pop up here. So obviously Nintendo will want to set up their holiday season, right? Rhythm Heaven coming up here next month. But they have a number of titles that are not dated at this time. And the order I think it could go in here, Splatoon Raiders. All right, so we need a release date on that. I'm placing that one in August. And then from there, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I'm thinking that's September. And then the Duskbloods, I think that's October. And yeah, I think Ocarina of Time remake is a thing. I feel like most people trust Nate at this point. And you know, it's funny. I think that's just November. I don't think Nintendo cares at all about GTA 6. I mean, at this time, it's not coming to the Switch. Do I say at this time? Because look, you never know what could happen at a direct, sure. Or whenever Rockstar Take-Two decides to drop trailer 3, there could be a Switch 2 logo in there. It's absolutely possible. Is it likely? Probably not, but you never know. So we'll say it's not on the Switch 2 at least this holiday. Nintendo is going to come up with something for November for their system to help sell the platform further in this holiday season coming up, especially with a more expensive system. Remember, it's going at $50 in September. Ocarina of Time remake a week before GTA 6, the week of GTA 6. I don't know if they'll do that, but they don't really care as much. Okay, so they'll place, I mean, what people look at as the greatest game of all time, the highest rated game of all time, certainly on places like Metacritic. But I am very, very curious what Ocarina of Time remake looks like because there are a number of different directions this could go in. Is it kind of like a reimagining? Is this going to be a situation where people have these expectations for a kind of like Wind Waker back in the day, where people saw the GameCube and they're like, finally, we can have some crazy looking Zelda game, and then they showed up with Wind Waker, and it wasn't until years later where they got Twilight Princess that was like a more realistic, mature kind of take on the Zelda universe. I think people have the expectation this is going to be a graphical showcase for The Legend of Zelda with Ocarina of Time remake, and it's certainly a game that should command a higher budget than usual for Nintendo. So I also have those expectations, but I can never rule out the possibility that Nintendo gets a little weird with it and it's an art style that doesn't necessarily click immediately. But I'm really hoping they pull it off here because Ocarina of Time remake would be awesome if it really hit like people are hoping. There should be some different additions here, like Minecraft on the Switch 2. That's already leaked out through different ratings boards. So I think ESRB had it, expecting that one. And then Monster Hunter Wilds on the Switch 2 was just randomly announced on social media. Seemed like a good spot for Capcom to just drop a trailer and show some footage of what was a game that ran kind of rough when it released originally on like the PlayStation 5 and certainly on PC. So the Switch 2 edition will be, we'll say, interesting, I guess, to see here. So now let's talk about some stuff that obviously heavy predictions, speculation, all that stuff, because I'm going to list off some games that could be here but might not. So we'll see, okay? Wario Land, believe it or not, a Wario game is currently being rumored. Doesn't mean it's going to be here, but it is something I thought, you know what, that would be kind of interesting just to see, because remember, Wario World got added to NSO randomly. It was not on their roadmap that I remember of like the list of GameCube games. It just kind of showed up and it was like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder why. Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe they were like, you know what, we are going to have a new Wario game of some kind. I think it'd be fun to incorporate Waluigi, since we really just don't see that very often outside of Mario Tennis or Mario Party or something. It's like, hey, Wario and Waluigi in their own game. That could be really, really interesting to see happen. I also put down Luigi's Mansion 4 because Luigi's Mansion 3 is a big time seller, looked visually impressive on the Switch 1. So, yes, I would like to see what Next Level Games can do on the Switch 2 with a new Luigi's Mansion. It certainly sells enough copies, obviously, to that series. So that would be one I would just be interested to see how it looks, really. And a new Monolith Soft game. They've been floating around out there. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a very good game that hit, I mean, that punched well above its weight class on the Switch 1, and they typically do that with the hardware that they develop for, you know, dating back to the Wii or even like the 3DS. And the Switch 2 would be the like most powerful system they've had access to, really. So that could be, I mean, I'm trying to think of how big the world would be that they would get on the Switch 2, especially since there's not even like file size limitations. I know Nintendo tends to have like smaller file sizes for the most part with their games, but with Monolith Soft and kind of the things they attempt on this hardware, I'm sure file size is a constraint they've dealt with here and there, but I mean, even that's kind of out the window. They could go up to 64 gigabytes and use that full cartridge, you know, if they want at this point. But I will say, for Monolith Soft, man, we need a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 edition. We really do. Even with the boost mode and handheld play for the Switch 2, it's still hard just to see the characters' faces. So, yeah, it'd be kind of nice to have that. Pikmin 4, the Switch 2 edition, that's already kind of been floating around as it is. A Switch Sports follow-up. Look, Switch Sports, it's that casual style game, but it's a lot of fun, and it definitely caters to the mainstream. But if not that, I would like to see somebody attempt another Mario Strikers, and maybe that would kind of eliminate the idea of, like, it's kind of like, oh, do you want Luigi's Mansion 4, or do you want a new Mario Strikers from Next Level Games? I mean, I'd rather Luigi's Mansion 4 at this point, because after the last Mario Strikers and the limited online play that they introduced, that was a little rough. Maybe they do a Switch 2 edition of Mario Strikers, and it does the 4-player in the same room to go online and matchmake. Maybe that's the mulligan there, because otherwise the game I think is pretty good. It's just the online play with friends was not great for what I was hoping to see. There was an update for NSO, and I'm going to go over that more in Newswave tomorrow, but I think this could actually add a very, very interesting twist on the way Nintendo treats things, actually like achievements and trophies and stuff, but within their NSO retro offerings. But with that, GameCube games, right? Like, we had Mario or Donkey Kong 64 get dropped into NSO recently, but there's still 2 more GameCube games that are floating around. That's Pokemon Coliseum and then Mario Sunshine. I'm less excited for something like Mario Sunshine because we already have that on the Mario 3D All-Stars collection as it is. But I understand they still want to drop it in there because it just continues to complete the GameCube library. Same with Pokemon Coliseum. I wouldn't mind another like Wario World style game where it's just out of nowhere. Hey, here's something. Here's Geist for no reason other than here it is. Although I do wonder if they have to make a mature rated. You know, they made the mature rated N64 app. I do wonder if they need to make one for the GameCube as well, and if that will allow them to add maybe more third party games in there. You know, it'd be really fun is if they did that. Here's Geist, here's Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. That would actually be a really, really fun announcement, especially with all the excitement right now about the Metal Gear Solid collection coming up with MGS4. Okay, here's a weird one. Some third party stuff. Okay, to close out here, we know Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is coming to the Switch too, right? Is Call of Duty's returning. It's been forever, more than a decade. They're back on the Wii U. Remember the Black Ops 1 and 2 ratings that popped up? What if there actually was a collection and this is where they introduced it? Hey, here's Modern Warfare 4. Okay. Also, here's Black Ops 1 and 2. We're moving it to the Switch too. It wouldn't shock me if that was also just available on other platforms, but it's kind of like this remastered setup, and it's something coming out before Modern Warfare 4, and you can just play it, I don't know, a month from now or something. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be curious if it would just be the campaigns, though, and there wouldn't be a multiplayer. That'd be kind of disappointing because, again, the Switch or Nintendo just has not had Call of Duty multiplayer for more than a decade, so I think you could kind of drop it into the service, and people would be legitimately excited for it. But for Xbox or PlayStation, well, Xbox obviously, it's already kind of available there and sitting. But we've seen this before where Call of Duty campaigns will be remastered, but not the multiplayer. So that's the one where it's like kind of the be careful what you wish for. It's like, oh, cool, and then no multiplayer. I'm also at this point expecting Clair Obscura Expedition 33. It's sold incredibly well on other platforms, but it makes a ton of sense on the Switch too. Also, it's another one that'd be kind of interesting just to see how it would run and look on the Switch too, because that was also one that had some pretty it had performance issues on PC, and I think it'd be something that'd be kind of cool to see like in handheld mode here. For the Switch 2 system. And then Metaphor ReFantazio, I mean, that's long overdue for the system. It's been rumored for a while. Mugenics, they've already talked about. The main developer was showing it off on a Switch 2, so like that seems like maybe sizzle reel kind of thing where we're going through games. Okay, there's Mugenics. And kind of something similar with Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition. That's already leaked out. We even have the release date, and I think the release is in 2 weeks. So they probably have to show it here because we've already gone through all the other presentations. But I'm expecting a pretty big show tomorrow. All right. I mean, 50 minutes and then 95 minutes to follow up. So, I mean, this is going to be like more than 2 hours of just Nintendo Switch 2 games and then showing off some of them at a much greater detail. So I think you're going to see a lot of Ocarina of Time Remake, and you're going to see a lot of Dusk Bloods, and probably a fair amount, I'd say, of Fire Emblem even being shown off in that treehouse as they work to set up their holiday season that, again, won't include GTA 6, but I think Nintendo knows that, and I think they're looking to bolster their lineup with what you'd expect when you get a Nintendo system, first-party games. But again, let me know what you guys would like to see at the event for Nintendo tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And keep an eye out for Newswave, again, going live a bit earlier tomorrow, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.